Welcome back to the 12 days of Wolfmas. This is day number 5, and through the first 4 days, we're up a whopping $4,500, and I'm giving it all away to you guys. Today's episode comes from Texas, my home turf, my card room called The Fort. It's a 1-3 game, $100 minimum, up to 75% match. I'm in for $1,000. In the first hand of the night, I open up pocket AJss to $15. We get 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to the flop here, and we have second pair on a 9-7-5 with 2 spade board. Action's on me, and given the fact there's 4 other villains in the hand, I decide to check, and the turn pairs the board. It comes the 5 of hearts. When the action's on me now, I bet out small for $25, trying to charge a 7x holding or maybe a spade draw, and we're only going to get called in one spot. That's Glenn across the table, and the river now comes the ace of hearts. Action goes check check, and this $125 pot is going to get chopped up because he has the other remaining 2 8s in the deck. Look at that. Look at that. Pocket 8s versus the exact same hand. First hand of the night here. Kind of spooky. It's not Halloween. This is a Christmas giveaway after all. All right, we now pick up ace jack of spades, and I decide to raise it up to $15 again, this time over a $3 limper. Glenn puts in the call once again, and we pick up the limper. So a 3-way here in position. Off to a flop we go, which comes ace king 6 rainbow, and Glenn does something strange and leads out into us for $35. The guy in the middle finds the fold. Action's on me, and of course I'm going to be calling here with an ace and a decent kicker. I put in the call, and the turn comes the 10 of clubs. Glenn leads out now for $60 this time, and I'm not loving this spot even though I have a pair of aces, but I can't fold just yet. I toss in the call. The river card comes scary as well. It's the king of spades, so now in case he was semi-bluffing with a hand like king queen or king jack, he now got there, and his small bet sizing here is indicative of a please call me type of bet. So of course I do. I oblige, and I toss in 4 red chips and a green chip. That equals the same amount that Glenn bet out there, and he's gonna scoop in the pot king 6 offsuit. So we had 2 pair, let out, bet turn, and this fish over here in seat number 8 called all 3 streets. $326 of your guys' money going over to Glenn, but I promise to get it back here in the next hand. Pocket aces, and I make it $15 to go over another limper. The player on my left in seat number 9 with that beautiful ring on, he puts in the call for $15, and the player on my right does as well. So we're going 3 ways to the flop, which comes pretty great for me. King queen 8. The only thing we're scared about is of course king queen. Usually I start with a check when I'm in between both opponents, but here it's pretty unlikely that anyone has a set of kings or queens. So the fact that there's only really one set available, and I don't have a king or queen in my hand, which means they're likely to have one, all that means I'm going to bet out here for $30, and both players find a call. So I'm liking the way this hand is developing. The turn comes the 6 of clubs, and I decide to go for a bet of 3 green chips this time, but this time we only get 1 caller. When the river card pairs the board, I love that because now I'm beating a hand like king queen. I have aces and 6s with a king kicker, so when the action checks to me, I go large here for 100 and Cinco de Mayo. The patented bet gets called. That's why I do those bets. Sometimes people just can't resist themselves. They want a fiesta, but the fiesta is only in my seat. $599 being shipped over to me, and I told you guys I'd get those chips back for you with American Airlines. Let's go. If you want to be one of the 7 lucky winners that gets flown down to Champions Club in Houston, Texas, and given a free buy-in to play with Lucas and myself, here's how to enter. I'm giving away 2 seats to channel members, so you have to hit join and become a channel member to be eligible for that. 2 people will be picked from signing up on Club WPT Gold using code Wolfgang, and the remaining the same way as last year from that sign-up sheet down in the description. As always, you need to be subscribed and comment on all 12 videos to be eligible. Good luck and happy Wolfmas. We're up $200 on the session, but I have no intentions of slowing down now. The $10 button straddle is out there, and there's 3 callers over to me, so I make it $55 to go, and we pick up 1 caller. Surprised that nobody else put in the call here. So it's a true heads up situation, not a joke Texas heads up, and we flop ourselves top pair ace queen 9 with 2 diamonds. Action checks to me, and I go for a C bet of $40, to which the opponent says yes please. He puts in the call, and we turn ourselves two pair on the jack of clubs. With 224 in the middle, I decided to go for a 2/3 or roughly around their size bet of $140. I'm really trying to get called here by some flush draws, worse aces, maybe a hand like king queen or queen 10 that has a straight draw, and the opponent does not. He folds his cards, flashing the ace of hearts. So a pretty great fold there from my opponent in the low jack, and my two pair is winning the pot, but I feel like I left a little bit of meat on the bone. All right, we pick up the action here already on the flop, where you see that I have two pair. I didn't really expect much to happen when I looked down at jack 8, but when I flop two pair, I bet out for $10, and there's an immediate raise, a call, another call, and I decide to defend with two pair and a backdoor flush draw. Off the turn we go, which comes the deuce of clubs, and seat 1 fires out for $60, and one player calls. I decide to call as well. In the river now comes the king of diamonds. I don't love that because queen 10 now gets there. Additionally, hands like king jack get there, and seat 1 continues to bet for $120. We lose 1 in seat 4. Action's on me. What do I do here with two pair? Logic would say to call, but if you remember on the flop, seat 1 min raised, and then he bet into multiple opponents on the turn and river. So I'm going to give him the ultimate credit here for having a hand like ace jack or a set of 8s or maybe even queen 10, and I find a pretty disciplined fold here. This might have been a decent fold or a bad one. I'm guessing most of you guys think this is a bad fold because we never see his hand, but players like this, when they're betting 3 streets, they pretty rarely have a bluff. So he easily could have ace jack, maybe the same hand jack 8, a set of 8s, or even jack king. Of course, he probably could show up with a hand like pocket 7s and I look like a complete dingus, but I'm not in the business to lose you guys money for this Wolfmas giveaway, so I decide to fold here. All right, let's forget about that last hand. Let's just pretend like I made a perfect fold there, even though we never saw a made hand or bluff. 10-9 of spades here. I make it $40 to go over a straddle and a call. We're gonna pick up a caller from 1, and then both other players call as well. So 4 ways to the flop here, which comes pretty great for me. Ace, king, 9 rainbow. I say good for me because this smashes my range, but multi-way, I'm gonna usually start with a check. When the action checks through and the turn brings a deuce of diamonds, I now bet my range for a bet size of 80, and as you can see, ace king high boards are pretty rarely going to connect super well with all these limp callers, and they fold their cards. So $240 coming my way. I'm making up for that last hand where I folded, and now we pick up ace king for ourselves, and I make it $40 to go once again over a straddle and call. We're going heads up to the flop here, which comes 9-6-5. I'm heads up against Juan, big blind versus hijack, and the action goes check, check, all the way through to the river where he bets out for $25. It's very small, so he's screaming, please call, but at the same time, I have ace king high, which beats a lot of bluffs like jack 10, or maybe a hand like 10-8, 10-7. So I decide to put in the call, and he shows me queen jack. So queen high is no good, sir. Nice little hero call there with no pair, taking down a $150 pot. I will take that every day of the week. I raise it up to 15, and Juan tries to battle me once again here. We're going heads up to the flop, which comes king, queen, deuce. I flop two pair. I decide to go for a small c-bet, and he calls, which brings in the jack of spades, to which I size up now to $55, and he folds. But in this next hand, we pick up queen 10 of hearts, and I make it $20 to go. Pause. Why did I go 20 over a $10 straddle? Guess I was a little distracted filming and taking notes and getting B-roll and watching my vlog in that TV all the way across the room. So of course we pick up two callers who can fold for 20 bucks, and we flop ourselves second pair, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and I decide to bet out for $30. Only one player calls here, that's Juan.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
And the turn comes the 6 of diamonds. Action goes check, check, bringing in the deuce of hearts on the river. When I check it over to him one more time, very sheepishly, he fires out for 2 green chips. I assume he's trying to bluff me once again, and I put in the call, and he shows me a deuce. 9 deuce offsuit. He came to play here, $224 going his way. I feel like he just robbed me blind. All right, last hand of the session. Let's make it a good one. I look down at pocket 10s. There's a limp to $3. I make it $20 to go. Seat 2 puts in the call. Seat 4 puts in the call, and Juan calls. So we're going 4 ways to the flop, which comes king 5-4 rainbow. I bet out for $25. Pretty small here. I'll have a lot of the strong kings where they really shouldn't have have ace, king, king, queen, but of course they can have all the pocket fives and pocket fours. We pick up one caller and then two callers, going three ways to the flop, which comes a board pairing five of spades. Action checks through, bringing in the nine of diamonds on the river. I'm either way ahead or way behind a king, so I decide not to bet for value here and check behind. I turn over the tens and both players fold, so we're taking down the last hand of the night. When it's all said and done, Wolfmas episode number 5 was a success. I got in for 1,000, out for $1,110. So a profit of $110. It's not massive, you guys, but still adding to that 4,500 total, we're now up to 4,610 through 5 sessions. If you would have told me that at the beginning of this series, I would have told you that's a great success. You guys are going to want to see episode number 6, which is coming into your Explore pages on YouTube tomorrow. Make sure you click on that. Good luck on the felt, you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video tomorrow. Peace!